What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Do It For The Clips. Our guest today is DJ Raphi, the creator behind one of YouTube's most unique and entertaining channels. Raphi has built a massive community of 1.4 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, where his high-energy dance tutorials and creative content have racked up nearly 1 billion total views worldwide. DJ Raphi is taking his online success into the real world with his first ever US tour. And in this episode, we cover how bullying shaped Raphi's resilience to challenges, the challenges of monetizing on YouTube, why YouTube beat every other platform, and how you build a real team behind a creator brand. Let's dive in. DJ Raphi, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And for the one or two people in the world that don't yet know who you are, just take us back. How did it all start? How did it all begin? Where did you even get your intro into music and into that world? Take us away.
So I guess when I was a kid, I loved music. My dad is a musician. He played guitar always at home, and he would sing songs. My grandfather was a trapeze artist in like the biggest circus in England. And I kind of just, I guess, went through the genes, and I had this like drive to research music and listen to music all the time. It was in our house. When I was like 10 years old, I wanted to learn how to do drums. I was trying to think like, which musician is the coolest musician when you see like a band playing? And I saw the drummer. I'm like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. That's what I want to do. And my parents, they sent me to lessons to learn how to drum. Did that for 3 months. The teacher was like, yeah, as a natural drummer. And then from there, it just kind of opened up some doors into like different streams of beatbox, and then learning how to play piano, and then guitar came through, and then a little bit of singing, and it all kind of, well, that leaded into the dancing eventually. But I think the drumming was the first thing that really got that rhythm going, kind of connecting me with music and falling in love with it so much.
Amazing. So what age is that?
So I was 10 years old when I first, played on a drum set, and then I did like my first show when I was 12 in front of the whole school. They asked me if I wanted to play drums, and I was like, yeah, sure. I've never done it before people, but I'd love to. And then I just got on, and apparently it was pretty awesome. And parents were like clapping and standing ovation. And the principal of the school was like, I had no idea that you had it in you. You're such a quiet kid. I'm like, okay, I guess. And it was such a good feeling, that moment where the crowd was clapping, and I was just doing my thing. And then it was like a natural connection to performing on stage. That's something that really spoke to me, that I need to be on stage. I could sleep on stage. I could live on stage. And then, to do school as well, which was a challenge. And then eventually I got into dancing and all the stuff that I'm doing now. And
the rest is history. Was that a talent show, or was that just like
No, it was like the end of school something, but it changed my life instantly.
And that's when you knew, like, you're in your comfort zone. Like, a lot of people are uncomfortable when they get on stage. They have the jitters, kind of stage fright.
So it's interesting because I was a quiet kid, and I didn't have many friends. We would say a bit of a nerd, but I wasn't good at school either. So it was like a nerd that was unsuccessful. And when you get onto that stage with all your classmates, and there's 500 people in the crowd, so that moment is actually very scary, especially if it's your first time. But as soon as you sit in your comfort zone, which is the drum kit, so everything just kind of, you block it out, and then you just do your thing. And it also taught me a little bit about how to deal with, I guess, challenges in life. You can just block everything out and deal with what you need to deal with. That really helped me perform my best. And it's something that I probably also taken to other stuff in the stage world, in art world. So as a quiet and shy kid, that also had a really challenging time at school. I had to learn how to block out a lot of distractions and stress and anxiety that was coming my way from people that would either bully me or just not be so friendly. And then when I got on stage to play the drums for the first time in front of a crowd, I was super nervous. There were so many people, a lot of noise, very overwhelming. My parents were in the crowd. I get on the drum set, like I literally sit down, I block out everything, and I just focus on what I need to do, and that's drumming. And I give it my best. I don't even remember there was a crowd when I was playing. When I finished, the crowd roared, and I'm like, all right, I'm on stage. Okay, that wasn't so bad. And I think that taught me throughout life how to kind of block out those external noises that kind of maybe push you down or make you nervous or give you that like sense of anxiety. If you believe in yourself, you're comfortable on your drum kit, and you just do what you got to do at your best ability, you'll be fine. You'll get through it.
Wow. Amazing. So before we fast forward to DJ Raphi today, What was the next step there? I'd love to get like your first job before, like, I don't even know, like where like before you like elevated to DJ Raphi till that launch. Cause that's where I first discovered you as DJ Raphi. But what was like the in-between from what grade was that? The third, fourth grade?
Yeah.
So from there to real life, real world.
I thought about it recently, and I was in some interview, and they asked me what my first job was, and I was like, oh, when I was 16, I worked at a bakery. It is not true at all. When I was 10, I opened up a summer camp for kids, and I would bring kids during summer, and I kind of like, whatever, they were younger, and I would do all these different fun games, and we would do music. And then when I was 11 and 12, and I started teaching them how to drum, I was always working. I think it's like kind of where I come from and where I am right now. And I was always striving to create something, and that was mine, and that people would kind of learn from me and benefit from that. And then they would come later and show me, oh, look, now I know how to do this. I'm like, oh, great. So I taught something. I helped someone. And so I think I started working when I was like 11, 10 years old.
Wow.
And then the first like real job was working at a bakery, and I was fired after 3 months because I ate all the stuff all the time. And then it was just so delicious. And then I worked with my dad in the diamond industry for a bit.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I became like a dance teacher, and that's how I made most of my money in like later teen years.
So really, like the dance, the music, like that whole world was just in it. That was like your life from the beginning, and it was just something you continue with into adulthood. It wasn't. So
this is what happened. I didn't have a drum set at home, and I needed to continue kind of like practicing the rhythms that I was learning from my teacher. And we had a drum set at the school that, just like get out of class. If I was overwhelmed, I'd just go to the drum set, drum all my energy out, just feel really good about it, and go back to class. And like the teachers knew. They're like, okay, Raphi needs a break. Go have fun, go enjoy. Yeah. But I didn't have a drum set at home, so I would drum all the time. Just and my parents would be like, you gotta stop what you're doing. You're driving us nuts. That was my way to kind of like really feel that music all the time. And then I started beatboxing without noticing. A friend of mine.
Well, we got to get a little sample beatbox. You did this whole thing. We got to get a, let's go.
For sure. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it. Let me finish. I'll tell you the story. And we're going to beatbox. But my friend was like, dude, there's like this competition on this radio show that I heard that people are doing beatbox and sound bites or imitations. You should totally do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, all day you're beatboxing in our ears. You need to go and do this on the radio. I was like, you're talking about the drumming thing that I sometimes do? He's like, yeah, you're really good at it. I'm like, okay, fine. I get on the radio on the phone. I call them. They're like, how old are you? I'm like, 12. And they're like, okay, I guess show us what you got. And then I won the competition.
Over the phone?
Over a phone call.
Yeah,
and they brought me into this huge like radio station. They gave me like 40 CDs of different albums of like the biggest artists in that time. And I got to do like a jingle on the radio that was played throughout the whole year. And it was like a life-changing moment that I was able to bring this random talent that most people don't know how to do and then create like a buzz around it at the age of 12. I'm only 12. So I think I should just continue with this beatboxing. So I ended up continuing with it. And then I was laughed at by classmates because they didn't think it was cool. They thought it was weird. But I really did enjoy it. And then I was always this like black sheep, unique kid that was doing things that most kids didn't do. So most kids would play sports and they'd play football and basketball. And I would just sit in class, maybe draw something, maybe listen to some music on my little MP3, do some beatbox, talk to a friend or two. That was like my recess. Everyone was out doing sports, but I just wasn't into sports. And then eventually I found breakdancing out of nowhere. A friend of mine was like, hey, there's this breakdancing class going on. It's new. You should try it. And my brother went for a lesson. He came back. He's like, listen, this is amazing, but you're a nerd and I don't know if it's going to work out, but you should still come. I'm like, okay. Because I knew I was a nerd. I had like small classes, not many friends, wasn't doing any sports. Physically, I guess I wasn't in any sort of shape or form, an athlete. And I was like, okay, I'll try this. It sounds hard doing breakdancing. I went for my first lesson and it was just so accepting and so unbelievably loving towards everyone. There wasn't any judgment. All the judgment that I knew from school, from friends, was out the window. And they were like, hey, we're going to teach you how to dance. And I don't know if you ever learned how to dance, but when you do, it's a very humbling moment because you realize that you have no idea what you're doing and that you look like a goof, you look weird, you look funny, and your self-esteem kind of crumbles down. But if you have a teacher or people around you that are like, that was amazing, do it again. Let's do it again. You're doing great, but you think you're doing bad. Your mind believes them. The same goes if someone says to you, you're really bad at what you're doing. You look weird. You look funny. You should not do that. If you keep on hearing that, those negative thoughts, eventually you're going to stop doing that thing that you love so much, no matter how much you love it. But if people support you and show, oh, this is great, even if it's not true, you will eventually believe that, and it will actually make you a better performer, a better person, a better businessman, a better husband, a better father. So that positive feedback is really crucial, especially when you're starting something new, especially when you start dancing.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. It's so nice to hear that you have found that outlet because, you know, I would think most people that see you on YouTube or Instagram or on TikTok and see the success that you are, they don't think, oh, DJ Raphi wasn't bullied. He's probably the most popular kid in the class. So you come from such a struggled, you know, upbringing and such a challenging, and you found that way, you found that place, and thank God you had that outlet of breakdancing where you found that. Is really, it's, as you said, it's super important, especially in those young years, to get that affirmation and the positivity to really give you the confidence to be who you are today.
Right. And you know what's funny? I went back to my high school and I'm like, I'm like now 16. So I go back and I'm like, guys, I know how to break dance. Check this out. Whatever, I do like a six
backflip.
Not a backflip, but like something that most people cannot do, like balancing on one hand or whatever.
Yes.
Right. The wave or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I was bullied even more. And kids are like, this is ridiculous. This is so weird. It's not for you. And I kind of even got like a little bit of a backlash from like parents. They're like, you're doing breakdancing now? I think you should focus on school. And breakdancing is not for you. It's they don't know what it is, but like
other people's parents?
Yeah, because I guess I would go to someone's house and then this would just come up and they're like, isn't that stuff that they do, I don't know, in America in the streets? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even think about that, but I'm really enjoying it. And I eventually ended up flying to South Africa to do a tour of African drums with this amazing group called Drum Cafe. They go around to different places, schools, businesses, conferences, and they just play on djembes, on these African drums. And I had someone fly me in and do that because I was a drummer. And I've been on stage before, and he just wanted to kind of help me out and give me something awesome for the summer. And after that, I'm like, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed music. I love being on stage. I want to continue with the breakdancing. I don't like being laughed at. I'm going to change schools. And that same friend that told me that I should go on the radio for that beatbox show, you know, I told him, listen, I want to move schools. And he was like, I'll move with you. Where do you want to go?
Serious? Yeah.
And then we researched, and apparently there was this music school that really spoke to us, and we decided that we're going to move there. And we did.
What grade is this? Where are we at
This
now?
is 10th grade.
10th grade.
I just turning 17.
And he went with you, and he went with you to this music school.
And we went to this music school, and they were so accepting and so nice, and the kids were all artsy.
And is he an artist? Like, is he some type of artist?
He's into like film and
wow,
and like he's a brilliant entrepreneur and businessman.
Can we say his name?
Yeah, Yehuda Beller.
Yehuda,
yeah. He knows.
Shout out.
I name drop him all the time. He is. Yeah, he was like my childhood friend that was always my friend, no matter what.
All of you guys should get a Yehuda Beller in your life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what you need.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. His father was like a second father to me. He really like loved me and believed in me. Unfortunately, he passed away quite a while ago from cancer, but he kind of saw my beatboxing and he saw all this dancing stuff that I was doing. And he's like, listen, you need to really focus all your attention on this. This is going to be amazing. No one does it. Wow. And it's even though people may think it's like off-putting, weird, and no one's doing it, you need to continue because it's making people kind of happy when you do it. It's awesome and it's energy. And you know, my parents were also like parents to him. Like we kind of like helped each other out in childhood. So we moved to the school, super accepting. And then I guess I got really good at dancing. And I had this idea that I want to become like Israel's champion in breakdancing. So It's really, really, really hard to do. And you have to like devote your life to it. And if you want to travel around the world, dancing in these random competitions as a break dancer, and people don't think about it, you actually have to become an athlete. And I needed to do school. I was trying to get all my tests results just to pass. And most people that were breakdance champions were not doing school. They were older.
It was full time.
This is what they did. And they made a living out of it, and they would travel. And that's what I decided to do. I'm going to devote my entire life now to become the Israel champion with my group, which was called Kosher Flavor.
Wow.
We're a bunch of guys. We got together. We practiced. We lost year after year at the championship in Israel. Year after year, we kept on losing the championship. Eventually, in 2011, we won our first championship. And we flew, it was amazing. And we flew to France to the World Championship, and we got to meet all these people from around the world, different breakdancers. And it was just eye-opening that there's different cultures, and every dancer looks so different and behaves so differently, and their movements are unique to where they're from.
Cultural thing.
It's like Japan. It was so unique to see them dance, and only they dance like that. France, very like abrupt and like cheeky. And American technique was like unbelievable with a little bit of style. And then the Koreans, power moves and just flying in the air. And then look, the Russians, very consistent and mean, but they were unbelievable, and the Russians would win all the time. So it was just so eye-opening and such a great experience. It kind of got me ready to look next steps after that.
Wow. Okay, so drumming, breakdancing. We're now post high school. Where we at?
We are now
college.
Post high school.
You did college?
I did college.
You did college. Okay.
You see, like, oh, you're a breakdancer. I didn't do college. I did college.
I don't know.
I know. I did college.
Breakdancing. Maybe majored in breakdancing. I don't know.
So what happened is that while I was doing all these different competitions, there was always this DJ that would stand on the top of the competition, and he would like kind of lead the entire show or event or battle. We're talking about 20,000 people in the crowd, not these small competitions. This is like Step Up, just bigger. Like that. It's a real deal. It's huge. It's filmed.
It's international.
It's international. It's recognized. It's in the Olympics now. So, right. So it's crazy.
Australia.
Woo! Let's go. Aussies. But I remember that I saw the DJ, and it wasn't that he was underrated, but I noticed that he was leading this entire show.
Controlling the tempo, the music. You control the
DJ
crowd.
is the king.
Yeah,
and it doesn't get mentioned too much. It's just like, yo, DJ, ready, 3, 2, 1, hit it, and then the DJ's like, whatever. But I'm noticing that every song he puts on, it just makes such a dramatic change in the atmosphere throughout for everyone.
Sure.
So then I'm like, I think I can do that because I know music. I know how to control crowd. I know how to perform on stage, and I already won the championship twice. Let me do that. So I ended up doing that and learning how to DJ. And then I'm like, okay, the goal is just like with the breakdancing. So I'm going to learn how to breakdance, and then I'm going to become the best at it. And then I'm going to be a DJ, and I'm going to get to the top stages. So people around me were actually supportive because they're like, okay, you kind of proved your first point. So I ended up learning how to DJ. And then I started getting booked. And I traveled to Holland twice, France, Switzerland, England, South Africa, the US, to do these different breakdance DJ stuff. And it was such an amazing experience for me to understand that in life, if you set yourself a very far goal, which most people would say, listen, that's probably not going to happen. But you put it as a goal, you wrote it down.
Star.
Like, this is what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to be flowing out, and I'm going to DJ in these huge competitions. And these
are competitions, these are not like events, these are not like weddings and
no. These are hip hop, breakdancing international competitions where thousands of people come to watch dancers try win a championship.
But you're going to be the director essentially as the DJ. You're going to be running the show.
Right. But there's huge DJs already there.
Yeah, sure.
Who are you to do that? but I would create these unique mixes that no one else was doing. So I think it's like a combination of doing something unique, bringing your personality into it, and then being consistent and pushing no matter what people say. Okay, as long as you have that self-belief. If people want to support you, by the way, then you take it.
Right.
Everything negative, you block out. Just look at the drums. Same thing. You just block it out.
Right. But I was going to say, you're positioned uniquely in the fact that most DJs there probably didn't know the breakdancing side of it. Like, meaning they weren't dancers themselves. I'm sure they're surrounded.
That's such a good point.
But you had the inside, almost like an insider edge where you were the dancer and the DJ. Like, so you probably had a little bit of edge on it without even realizing it.
Usually it actually happens the opposite. The DJ becomes a dancer.
Right.
But over here, I just knew what the dancers needed.
Right.
And when I put on my beats and my music, they were like, what is this? This is so interesting and different. And you know what the dancers need. And I was just watching them. I'm like, I know what he's going to do. And they're like, the crowd goes crazy.
Of course.
And everyone's like, oh my God, the dancer's amazing. I'm like, dudes.
You're the one pulling the strings.
I'm the director.
You're the one pulling the strings.
Yeah,
of course.
It was so much fun. And then I did my degree in marketing.
Hold on. Do we have videos of these competitions?
Yeah.
Okay, because when you're talking about that, we got it.
Yeah, it's called Battle of the Year.
Hold on, are you married? You're not married yet.
I'm married.
No, at this point in the story, I'm saying.
So yeah. So I traveled.
We don't have to talk about it. I'm just curious where we like.
I traveled.
2021.
I traveled around the world doing all the DJing and breakdancing at different competitions.
Okay.
My DJ name then was DJ Four Eyes.
Oh, hold on, guys. This is breaking news. Before DJ Raphi, we had
DJ Four Eyes.
DJ Four Eyes.
Yeah, one of my best friends. He's like, because everyone has a nickname.
Yeah.
A stage name. And he looked at me. He's like, I think you should be Four Eyes. I'm like, why would you call me Four Eyes? Why would you call me
Is this Yehuda or somebody?
No.
This is not Yehuda. He wouldn't give you this kind of advice.
This is Daniel Fenster. I'm the legend.
Okay.
And he's like, Four Eyes. I'm like, isn't that like a really bad name? Or like you say that to someone you want to insult?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but you'll turn it, like the insult, into a positive. And that's exactly what we did.
I love that.
It became like everyone was like DJ Four Eyes, whatever. And I had to have these little glasses on. So I went to college because I wanted to do marketing. I felt that was something good, really good to have. Also, I wanted to kind of prove to myself that I could do college and I could get a degree and I can, become a businessman if I wanted to. I was teaching dancing to kids anyway. I was making a living out of that. And I thought this would be like a good kind of platform and foundation for myself for the future. And then I got married to my wife, Ilana. Shout out to Ilana. She's amazing. She's a huge support of everything I do. And we'll get more into that. That's super important. Did college, started working in a company that sold like candy. Like we would import candy and sell it throughout the world, throughout the country. And then that closed. And then my boss then, he said to me, Mike Gordon, he said to me, listen, this business is not going anywhere. The candy company, I'm closing it. But you are a DJ, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do like hip hop competitions and breakdancing stuff. He's like, then why don't you do some small private events? Why don't you do a few weddings? Why don't you do like some corporate stuff? And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should. And then he's like, listen, how much money do you need to buy your first setup? Because it was a lot of money. I'm like, I don't know, maybe $5,000 to $10,000. And he's like, okay, I'll put that money up front. You get the equipment, do some events, and then when you get that money back, just give it back to me. No strings attached. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I did that. I bought equipment. I did my first few events. I paid him back, and I started building this name. And I was like, well, what should I be called? I don't want to be DJ Four Eyes. So I guess my name's Raphi. I'll just call it DJ Raphi. Like the most simple name I could find. And then I started doing these private events. And that started a whole new life for me. I was my own boss. I had my own time. I was making people happy at these different events. I was combining all my different talents that I had as a kid. I was DJing, I was dancing, I was beatboxing at these events. And I was like this unique, I don't know, butterfly that was coming through events. And all these other DJs were like, who is this guy? What is he doing? Why are you dancing on the dance floor? You should be up there. That was like, I guess, my unique prospect when I would come to events.
Sure. Amazing. Okay, so I want to dive more into that, but I'm gonna segue into this is basically where I think where I discovered you, because DJ Raphi to me when I first saw you was like the premier DJ company or DJ to get for your event, for your wedding, for bar, bat mitzvah, whatever it was. And at this point, we didn't know each other. We had not connected. Maybe I DM'd you on Instagram. That's usually my go-to move. Or I don't know. I started asking around to see who the mutual friends were, fun influencers, and everyone involved for this. Like, in any event, we're sitting in a taxi together to go shoot in the Old City.
Right.
And we're just schmoozing, and you're telling me, like, it was the first time we actually met face to face, and you're telling me about like the whole DJ Raphi business, but that also on the side, and the reason I mention this because I really want to get into your resilience in terms of like when challenges hit you, how you level up. And like on the side, even though you had this successful business, you were doing Amazon SKUs, you had like these things going on Amazon, you had all these like side hustles that you were telling me about, and I'm like, you're a DJ, you have this successful DJ business, but you're doing these Amazon things. And then when COVID hit, your whole entire business like got shut down, and then you had to reinvent yourself again. And I don't want to jump too far ahead to the whole YouTube saga, because that's like a whole nother chapter where like you really, that's essentially where YouTube was launched. But take us through that. Take us through like why you were doing things, like why you were doing these side hustles, like how did you have that ability to kind of pivot, and that resilience to just keep on pushing and reinventing yourself over and over and over again?
Right. So 2020, I was in a place with my career where we had DJs, dancers, sound, lighting, equipment, different entertainment pieces, and providing it to the whole country. And I was probably one of the top DJ companies that was working so much. We had months where we had 30 events. So we had to have like a full-on team. And it was really, I felt like I'm making it. This is what I should be doing. It's going so well. I was doing the top league shows, and my team were doing like, the mid and lower kind of type of crowds or events, smaller events.
Yeah, for those who don't know, DJ Raphi, as you alluded to, you had an entire team. It was like they had the branded DJ Raphi thing, and it was a whole team of people that
everyone had
depending
to
on
wear
what tier you took, they
had to wear the hat. They had to put the hat on. They had to wear a shirt that said whatever DJ Raphi, and they would have to dance with the crowd. So we were looking for DJs that also knew how to dance and had the ability to MC and interact with the crowd and control them, because to dance is one thing. To DJ is another thing, and then to perform and get people to follow you is a whole art. So we would teach them how to do this. And, there's a secret recipe of how to do that, which I'm not going to share here, but one day maybe. And then, we were at our peak. And then one day, my accountant calls me. He's like, listen, did you hear about this thing, COVID, that's coming through? I'm like, yeah. What's that got to do with me? He's like, listen, you have a lot of expenses now that and overhead that you're spending all the time, and you have a team and you have events. But soon this is all going to shut down, and I need you to listen to me. You need to close everything. You need to get rid of all your employees, put them on some sort of vacation, and then leave your office space and sell your equipment. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not doing that. Why would I ever consider doing such a crazy thing? And about a week after, we started hearing on the news that we need to actually stay at home. And I had like 20 events the next month. What am I supposed to do? And clients started calling. Hey, we want our deposit back. We want to cancel our event.
Wow.
COVID's coming. I'm like, oh my God. So I was like hit so hard. Like, this is what I do. And I do have savings for rainy days. I never imagined such a rainy day in my life. And I'm sure many other people as well. So what we decided to do is shut it down. And then we left our office space, and I kind of looked at Ilana, my wife, and I'm like, what now? Like, what do we do? And we had some savings. We were trying to think what we should do. Maybe use that money, maybe just kind of live in a very kind of simple way for the next few months. Hopefully
nobody knew how long it was going to be, right?
Hopefully you'll get through. And also my team were like, what about us? We need work. And then I started doing some Zooms where I would like DJ for some organization in my basement or whatever, but it wouldn't really, make enough money. And then I think eventually my wife was like, listen, you need to continue what you're doing. online. You need to bring people happiness while they're at their homes. They're just so bored. Why don't you film yourself DJing or dancing and just put it on YouTube? I'm like, YouTube? Whoa, like that's everyone's dream is to become a YouTuber. I'm not going to do that. That's insane. And she's like, you can do it. I'm like, it's probably expensive. You need to like get like equipment and film yourself in studios. And we had some money and she's like, well, you should do this. And then my brother-in-law was like, he hopped on. He's like, I'll help you get the equipment. And then Yoni Weingarten, that still works with me as my marketing manager today, he was like, you can do this. You have to do this. And I will support and we'll go through the stuff with you and we'll make it happen. And then my late mom, she was like excited that I'm doing something because I had no work for about a month, 2 months, nothing. So she kind of like, she was like encouraging me, like, as a kid, you used to do this stuff. You can do it again. Just reinvent yourself. I'm like, okay, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback here. I'm going to use it. It was kind of broken down. I felt this like, this heavy weight on me that like, I just had to close my company that I built for
years.
I built for 6 years.
6 years.
And they kind of lifted me up. It's the people around me that I love so much and support me. And then we filmed our first video, the cha-cha slide. That was the first one. And we create it, we make it, and I send it to some friends to get some feedback. The feedback was mixed. It was like, it's a cool video, but what is the point? Are we supposed to watch you dance? Are we supposed to, I don't know, oh, do we need to like it? What do we do? I'm like, it's so funny that they didn't even think that they need to follow it. You need to follow it. They're like, oh, I didn't think of that. I'm like, that's okay. We will create graphics around it to make it so compatible and fun to watch that people would want to watch us again and again and again. And then slowly they'll start understanding the concept. But I'm not going to tell them, follow me. I'm just going to do it. We upload the video. I knew, and I told this to Ilana. I told her, this video is going to reach 1 million views. And she's like, amen. And everyone around me, the friends, were like, dude, that is so far. Like, to reach 1 million views back then was insane. In 2020, it was still a lot on YouTube. And I was like, this is going to reach 1 million. I just know it will. It has to. We uploaded the video. And then after 3 weeks, we looked at the views, 300 views. Okay. So that's not working. All right, let's do another one. So we did another 3. And we kept on uploading them consistently. And we started receiving videos from people. Hey, we love your dances. We're dancing to them at our house now. We're stuck. And this is great for the kids. Thank you. And that just kept them going. That first video, by the way,
is now your most, it's your most viewed, 104 million.
Yeah.
From 5 years ago.
So I was wrong, actually. It didn't reach 1 million.
A little bit more. A little bit more. Amazing. Wow. Unbelievable. And I remember, we have to find the post, but I remember you posting, you were in your car, you had picked up that camera equipment that you were talking about, you picked up the camera, you picked up the thing. And I don't know if you officially said, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, or like you just said, I'm gonna try YouTube, or maybe you even mentioned YouTube, you just said you're gonna start doing these videos. And I remember like, again, like getting back to the resilience, I remember just seeing like, you didn't even take a second to like, some of us were like digesting, like, okay, what does this mean for our business? Right. You know, what you just like acted, and like, you don't sit back and like wait to see and play, you know, what I plan, whatever. You do. And I think that's like the real differentiator here, like what really sets you apart as a DJ, beatboxer, breakdancer. It's just like you act on it. You don't just sit back and wait for things to happen. I
remember that moment really, like, it was a moment where I'm sitting in the car. I have this Canon M50 camera that I bought for a few $100, some lighting. And I said to the camera, I'm going to try YouTube. And then 5 years later, I went back to that shop and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I bought this camera, this M50 Canon, and now I'm like a YouTuber and I'm doing what I wanted. And the guy was like, okay. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like when COVID hit, I didn't have a business and I came and I bought this camera and now like I'm this YouTuber and it's happening and it's insane, right? Do you want to buy anything? Okay. Yeah,
He's
sure.
like, do you want a discount?
Actually,
Is that you're asking for
I
a
need to
discount?
buy a new camera and some lighting because I'm continuing the YouTube. Okay, that's
If it was
$100.
B&H, I don't know.
It
Maybe
was
it
just
might
very
have
funny.
been-
Yeah, I was like, aren't you excited for me? It's like every day I have customers. So what was interesting is that when we did, when we started filming myself, I started doing vlogs as well just to see the reactions. That didn't work as well as the dancing videos. And I wasn't making any money off this at all, but we were spending, but the brand was still there. So all my peers and all the people that I work with and all, I guess, the followers of the DJ Raphi business back then, they were seeing that I'm still creating content, high quality content.
Right.
And for them, it just kind of that's what we perceived. My brand was still on top of mind. And I think that's very important that when a brand goes into a crisis where they lose business, it's about keeping top of mind in people's lives and heads and continuing showing that things are moving forward and progressing. You should not show them you're doing bad, you're not doing well, you're not having any sales. This crisis happened and now there's a war and now there's COVID and we're doing terribly and we don't know what to do. I was like, oh no, we're expanding. We're doing online content and we're dancing and check it out and my team and this and that. And for them, I was never shut down. I was always, he's just evolving. So it's not changing. It's not shutting down. It's not closing. It's evolving. That's a very important thing to understand in business.
For sure. Something we tell our clients all the time is showing up is 99% of the job. Just showing up, putting yourself out there on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, just to show, like, you become top of mind because you're out there, because you're putting it out there. People are like, oh, I don't have the right camera equipment. I don't have the right this, I don't have the right that. I don't look good. Just show up. If you show up and you show people, like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm up to, who cares what you look like? People will remember, oh, the next time they need an IP lawyer, they're going to call this guy. The next time they need a therapist, they're going to call that guy. The next time they need a DJ, they're going to call DJ Raphi. It doesn't matter what you're necessarily going through or that you don't have the perfect lighting or the perfect camera or whatever it is. You got to show up. You got to put out that content because you never know who's going to knock on your door next. So you launch your YouTube channel, you put out your first 10 videos, you're getting millions of views already at that point, just with the cha-cha slides, these how-to dances. What happens next?
So we noticed that the videos were catching on, especially ones that are like really well known around the world, like the Macarena. Everyone knows the Macarena and there's no like official dance online. So we kept on creating those and we did 10 videos like that. And eventually we reached, 100,000 subscribers. And we're kind of freaking out because we don't know what to do with this. Like, this is insane. We have a lot of views. We have all these different subscribers from around the world, but I'm not making any money. So the brand is growing and events started coming back, weddings and stuff. We started sending our DJs back onto, into the field of corporate events and weddings. And then eventually we were kind of like, okay, we need to create our own music. But that's like a huge step for any artist to create their first original song. But that's the only way to not get a copyright on your videos. So we're putting all these videos out and we're noticing that we're being copyrighted on every single one, which means we're not even making a cent. And that's a big problem for any business, that you're not making money on your investment.
Sure.
And we were trying to figure out, how do we fix this? So why is it good to do it anyway? Because it grows the brand. It brought in the followers. It brought in the views. We needed that to build a foundation for our YouTube channel. And then when we had that foundation and we had a following and a trusting community that was like, we support you. Bring us what you got.
We want more.
We want more. Bring it in. We want to dance. That's when I was like, okay, we're going to create our first original song and we're going to dance to that. And that is so scary. It was like one of the most scariest things I've ever done in my life. We wrote a song. It's called Shake It Off. And I was about like, I was always thinking of how can I kind of like have a good impact on kids and be this like, good messenger of good deeds. That was like the thought. And I was like, okay, shake off the bad vibes. And we created this song. We brought in a producer that helped us. And eventually that song kind of like, we uploaded it onto YouTube. It didn't get a lot of views, but we attached it to the most viewed videos on our channel. So someone would watch the Macarena, and the next video that would come up is Shake It Off. So they'd be like, what is this? Click. As soon as we got that click, bing, our first cent was made because we were monetized on YouTube. We already passed the threshold of 1,000 subscribers. And we said, okay, now we need to make another one. And the more music we made and the more videos we created, the budget went up because we noticed that, oh, we should fix that. We should make this better. And it's funny to say, like, I would say back then, in terms of dollars, if you ask me how much would it cost to create, the cha-cha slide, probably $1,000. Today, you're looking between $10,000 to $15,000 minimum on a YouTube video that we create. So that's how much you grow and how much you change and evolve when you create content. A creator can never stay stagnant and where he is in the same spot for long. You get bored. So you always want to get better. Mr. Beast is a great example. His first videos, I'm sure, were not so expensive, and now he's spending $4 million on a video. And because you always want to create the next best thing, and you want to challenge yourself, and you want to make it fun for you and your team, but you also want it for your audience and community to say, wow, that is amazing. That is better than the previous one. We're seeing the progress. We're seeing that you're investing in us, the crowd, the community, your followers. And that is something that we realize the more money we put into the videos and thought, and I would say, any sense of hard work, if it's working hard physically, if it's getting better producers, if it's working on my voice, if it's getting better lyrics, the crowd would feel it. The followers, the viewers, they would sense that, and it would come through. And that's something that we started working on, and that's what we're doing today. We keep on evolving
and iterating. Amazing. By the way, side note, I remember when you were with Barack and WeWork, King George, and you told me "Shake It Off." You said it was the most searched song, and that was one of the reasons, right?
That is such a funny story. So we were like, what should be the first song? Like, what are we going to call it? Good Vibes? Like, who,
No one's going to search for Good Vibes.
So we started looking on Google, like, what's the most searched song in the past 5 years? And Shake It Off was one of them. So I'm like, okay, let's call it Shake It Off, but it'll be a total different song.
Right.
So what ended up is people were searching for Shake It Off for Taylor Swift. And they would get to my video and be like, what is this? Who is this guy with the hat telling me I should shake off my pet?
Raphi Swift? Who is this guy?
Yeah. And then but they would say,
right.
They'd be like, oh, this is kind of cute for my kids. I'll show it to them.
Right.
And that really helped us as well. Getting that original, that organic SEO on our video.
I remember that. Okay, so all right, so you're finally monetizing, and the big question that every YouTuber gets asked is how much you making? How much is it cost for a video? You mentioned you referred to like the production value going up, but how much is it cost for a video? What kind of dollars can you make on YouTube? Take us into that world of monetizing on YouTube.
Okay, so I don't know what it looks like. I'm a creator myself, so I don't know what people think of YouTubers. But when I look at people like Mr. Beast, you have to assume that we're all millionaires.
I thought for sure.
So we're not. And the reason we're not is because it's a few things. It's divided into a few segments if you want to look at how YouTube monetizes. So one of the things that Google Ads is divided into is the audience. Where is the audience from? Demographics. How old are they? What type of content you're making? How long is your content? Is it 2 minutes? Is it a short? Is it 20 minutes? Is it 2 hours? All those different metrics make a huge difference on how much money you make per view. So RPM, for example, is how much money you make per million, revenue per million. Mm-hmm. So revenue per million, if you're doing tech, or if you're doing real estate, or finance, or investments, or gaming, or challenges like Mr. Beast, you could make probably $7 to $9 per 1,000 views. So if you have 1 million views on a video, that's $7,000. Mm-hmm. If that video has 10 million views, you're making $70,000 on the video. But if you're creating content for kids, your RPM immediately goes down to $1 per 1,000 views. Okay? And that's,
why is that? What's the...
So I would say the reason I think that happens is because kids aren't exposed to ads as much as regular people or grown-ups are exposed to ads.
And they can't take action on it, right? They can't actually pull out the credit card.
It doesn't work as such on the mind of a child. If you keep on showing them Coca-Cola or whatever, they're like, oh, I need to buy a Coca-Cola.
Right.
They're just like, oh, it's a red fun thing. I want
waiting
some
for the
water.
skip. They're waiting for the skip to come up. The skip ad
they
button,
don't really care. There's something called YouTube Kids. There's no adverts. There's no advertising at all. It's just videos. There's no likes. There's no comments. So when it comes to kids content, which is the content that I create, your revenue is at its minimum. It's probably now less than $1. Depends also on season. So if it's Christmas, the dollar revenue kind of goes up because you're paying more per ad as an advertiser.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you want to advertise during holiday seasons, you're going to be paying more per click.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I get 55% of that payment that you paid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Google takes 45%. I get 55%.
Wow.
But if it's only 80 cents, then you have to make so many views. You have to get so many views to make money. For me to bring back $15,000 on a video that I recently just did, that video has to get to 15 million views. So am I losing money currently? No, because I've built that up with the years and it's compounding. From Shake It Off, we've done another 40 videos or maybe even 50. And those first videos are now compounding on one another. But it's helping me kind of pay for all this new stuff that we're doing.
And it's a little bit of a gamble. Every time you want to invest in creating a song, you don't know if it's going to perform. You don't know if the song's going to be good, if the video's going to be good, and then all those elements, if it's going to be a seasonal thing, right? Like all the factors that play into it.
We do try a few things. So evergreen is the number one rule. It should always be relevant always. We don't do anything seasonal. That's number one. Number two, fits for all ages. So a grown-up can listen to this song and enjoy it and kind of be like, hey, it's kind of cool. And a kid could really connect with it. And I would say another very important thing that we do is look at data. Look at the data that we have and try to figure out why one video did work, why one didn't. Why was the retention low? Retention is how long a person stays watching a video. Is it 10 seconds? Does he leave after 30 seconds? Does he watch the whole video and then click on the thumbnail, the next video? Or does he just go in and immediately go out? And you want to make sure that you understand those small nuances because that will help you create better content, especially where people kind of leave. Why do they leave and when? So it's a lot of science. There is science behind it, but it's a lot of A/B testing and kind of understanding that. But you can't A/B test with content. You can't spend thousands of dollars creating a video and let's do a test.
Right.
So when you create a song or create a video as a creator, you need to believe in it 100%, 1,000%. This is going to work. People are going to connect with it. It's not so much about the views as much as it is about the impact your video has. Because it's enough that B.U.B. Awesome, a song that we recently put out, reached only 2 million views. But the impact that created on selling merch with that message, B.U.B. Awesome, and how that impacted different things we're doing in our branding as an empowering brand for children had a way bigger effect than the Macarena that has 50 million views.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny that you say the seasonal. You don't do seasonal, right? Because I'm somewhat of a celebrity myself on YouTube. I have one video with over 100,000 views. It's on an old channel I can't even access anymore because I don't have the password. But it was a Hanukkah music. It was a different Hanukkah music video, not the one we did, but like for my first Hanukkah music video. And every year it gets another few thousand clicks. So it's not. You don't want to. You stay away from seasonal. I would think like maybe that's something like every year everyone's gonna listen to Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever. Different. You don't do it.
I want people to dance and listen to our videos every single day of the year for 10 years.
Right.
That's evergreen.
Evergreen.
That's why we do that.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm sure that all these videos you're putting out take a lot of effort. This is not a one-man job. As DJ Raphi is the face and the name, there's a whole crew behind you. Tell us a little bit about that team and what goes into making these videos.
You know, I saw a documentary about Kevin Hart and about 3 years ago, and he said to the camera, it was like a documentary, he's like, I could never do any of this by myself. A lesson learned, you need people around you to help you make this happen. 3 years ago, I was kind of doing this mostly by myself, kind of using some people to help me push it. And that lesson is so valuable. And it sunk in, and I slowly brought more and more people to get involved and not just be like a side hustle, come help me do a song, but rather build a team of people that believe in your idea, believe in your passion, love what you're doing, get them to enjoy what they're doing as being part of the team, and then growing together. So it's never about me. It's not about how will I be successful. It's how we can use this family called DJ Raphi and push it to places where it will impact all of us. It will impact me, my family, them, their family, and all the people that are watching. So they want to be involved because there's some sense of there's a mission here where we want to be the biggest kid entertainer in the world, or the biggest dancer for kids in the world, or the biggest DJ, or whatever it is. And they have that belief as well. I'm not alone believing that. So building a team is super crucial for your success as a creator on YouTube. You don't have to start immediately, but if anyone would ask me, like, what's the first thing you should do if you want to become a YouTuber? What is the first thing you should do? So you think, oh, okay, get a camera, get a studio, get some money, and start creating content and vlog yourself at the park or whatever, or skating or traveling. So the first thing you need to do is get someone to join you that believes in you. It could be a partner. It could be an employee. It could be a student that's looking for a side hustle. You need a person that you can bounce off ideas with and get you passionate about what you need to do. Because standing alone in front of a camera is so scary, especially at the beginning, and also frustrating and boring. But if you have someone that could say to you, hey, that was terrible, let's do it again. That gives you a sense of, okay, I'm not alone, I can do this. Have someone supporting and believing in me, let's do it again. And that started this idea of like, we need another person. We need another person on this aspect. Today, our team is quite big. So we have the DJ business that is still running with a young CEO. Her name is Tamar, and she is unbelievable, and she runs the DJs and the dancers, and they do events. So I'm not so connected to that, daily. I'm just not involved.
It's running on its own for the most part.
Yeah, so she knows exactly what to do, and then if I need to get involved, I do. But I kind of like have that on a side burner, and it's running. And then we have a director that his job is to direct during the filming. We have a videographer. We have 3 animators, and we have marketing manager. We have a music producer director. So his job, Harel is the music director. Under him are 4 music producers. They create with us the songs. They sit with us in our studio, and we think of songs together, and we come up with the lyrics, and we create and produce. And his job is to kind of be the architect of which song, when, what's it about, when does it come out, who directs, who animates. And with that, we have probably around close to 12 people that are just on the YouTube side.
Oh my goodness.
And we have a studio that we built together with other people that needed a studio as well. So they have offices, I have an office, and they don't use the studio already. So I'm in that studio every single day. I have my music studio, the film studio, and we have office space that we need to do business and meetings or whatever that is.
And these guys are all full time, or they're also, because you're in a studio, other people can utilize their
right. So I'm the only YouTuber they work for. You could say that. Okay. They do their own stuff as well, and I think that's also a very important lesson. So some of them wanted to kind of become full time, a part of my team, which means a lot of things. And I kind of said to them, listen, I believe in being your own boss. I really believe in that. I don't believe in working for other people and making them successful and making them rich. It's just not my way of living. My father said to me when I wanted to come and, do diamonds and work in diamonds, he's like, if you want to be in jail, then you come and work for diamonds because it is a jail, and you will come in every day at 8 o'clock in the morning and you will leave at 7 o'clock at night, and you will go home exhausted, and the next day you'll do the same. Is that your life? And make someone else rich? I'm like, I don't know. I'm 19.
I'm 12 years old.
Yeah. And then he's like, you do your own thing and you become your own boss. Do you understand me? I'm like, okay, I will do that. And we've had many challenges. We've had many challenges. What do you say?
Challenges?
Yeah, sorry. We've had many challenges as a family. I've had as a kid. If it was financially, if it was socially, just so much stuff that was going on. And it was one thing that my dad was like, we've been through so much. I need you to take this and make it worth it. Make it huge. Make an impact. It can't just be for nothing. It's been quite a few hard years. Take this as a strengthening point and move forward with that. And I really kind of took what he said. I'm like, I will not work for anyone. Eventually I did for a little bit with the candy because
Right.
I needed to make some money.
In the bakery.
But that actually pushed me to become my own boss as well.
Right. Wow.
And what I think is so unique is that with my team, I kind of like motivate them to become their own boss and open up small businesses. And I say to them, work for me 80% of the time. 20% of the time, do your own thing. Build your own business. The reason I do that is because when you're working with someone and you watch them excel and be successful, it's just the nature of any human being. You become kind of like, you look at them and say, why don't I have that? Why can I not be like that? I want to have what he has. But if you motivate them to do their own thing as well, if you want to have what I have and have this feeling of, self-purpose and motivation and that you're doing something meaningful, open up your own business. It could be in anything. It could also be in music production, and do your own thing. So when we did that, and we did that with most people, they have this feeling of like, okay, can I have your advice on something, Raphi? Like, can I talk to you about this thing I'm having in my own little business? I'm like, sure. And then I help them. And that is like that back and forth where I'm helping them grow in their own world, but they're also really helping me grow. And that's something that I kind of push that for my team.
Wow. That's an incredible outlook, like a perspective I've never really considered, I've never thought of.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. So Raphi, so tell us, now that you are officially a YouTuber, you've made it, what does it mean to be a YouTuber?
So to be a YouTuber means really, really hard work. Now, I've done hard work in my life. I think running the DJ business was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Being a YouTuber is on its own level, especially if you're doing something physical. So in my world, I'm a kids entertainer. I dance, I create music, I sing. So that means I need to be in shape all the time. Filming days can be 6 to 10 hours. So that means I walk into the studio, I do a 20-minute warm-up, my choreographer comes and meets me, we start working on a dance, and then we start filming. That can take hours and hours where I need to be on my feet, dancing, smiling, singing, and always at top shape. So always I'm like, hey, what's going on? La, 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 freeze dance. And then, oh my God, this is so hard. This is crazy. Okay, we're doing it again. So we have to do that for hours and hours and hours, which means you have to work out like an athlete. You have to eat healthily all the time. You have to work on your voice. You have to go to a vocal coach. You can't just wing it. You can hear that I'm hoarse. My natural voice is hoarseness. It's just how I talk, probably from all the beatboxing, which I promised I'll do for you. But I had to learn how to sing and how to rap. And that is a whole different set of skills that I never had, and I have to learn this. You have to really wake up in the morning and understand that you need to take your brain and your abilities and create something from scratch. That is really hard. So when you meet with your team and you have to think of an idea, It's not like, okay, let's just use ChatGPT. Hey, give us some ideas, which of course we've tried. I've gone in ChatGPT with my team. Hey, we need lyrics for this. We need an idea for this. It never works. Never. Your ideas have to come from a place where your brain creates them from your life and your inspirations. That's the only way to do it, unless you're using someone else's song. And working your brain like that every single day is really, really hard. And you have to be motivated, and you have to kind of bring yourself to another level every single time. And the age is against you. So you have to work harder. So the older I get, the harder it becomes. So, that's just something to understand. YouTube is hard. Is it worth it? 100%. But if you want to become a YouTuber, just to understand that it's not a game. It's a business. It's a career path. It's a dream. It's amazing. I'd recommend it to anyone and everyone, but you really need to think it through and plan it accordingly.
So it begs the question: you have to do all this workout, all this cardio before all your videos that you're performing on. Which one takes up more energy, the DJ Raphi events and nights, weddings, or the YouTube video creation?
So So that's a good question. Today, I don't do events at all. So I've stopped doing events because they're exhausting. Going to a wedding for 7 to 8 hours, being on your feet, screaming at the crowd, trying to dance with them. It is so crazy and hard.
Can't do that every night, Monday through Friday? You can't do it?
For 8 hours, I don't think so. I don't think I enjoy it as much as I used to. I'm in a different place in my life, I guess. It's like I got bored, and it makes sense. And that's why we have DJs that are so excited about it. And they're like, they can't wait for their next event and opportunity. And I feel that I'm just growing and evolving and changing, and it's not a bad thing. And, doing YouTube is different. It's a different type of hardship. But going to the gym is part of my job. Eating a salad with egg and tuna and a diet bread is part of my job. It's what I'm paid for. It's what my team needs me to do. So when I'm eating, whatever it is, a hamburger, which I'm planning on having tonight, by the way. When I'm having an hamburger, it's a sacrifice. I'm like, okay, I know that I'm going to have this hamburger now, which means I need to run a 10K tomorrow, and then the next day, do stairs for 25 minutes.
This is why I'm not going into this business.
Yeah,
I would never.
I'm so used to it, this back and forth.
Right.
So I go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, to make sure that I'm fit. Wow. I eat 5 meals a day. I have a nutritionist. I have a personal trainer. It's not a joke. It's a real thing. But I didn't have this at the beginning. I had to get to a place where
realize it. Yeah.
Not only realize, it's you get to a place where you need to perform and you need to create more content and you need to work every single day, but your body the body's not able to do it. There is a way to do it, and you have to really work on yourself. So I would say that's the hardest part, but it's so rewarding and fun at the same time.
Amazing. All right. So you have your DJ business, you have your YouTube. What other revenue streams are you creating to bring in more cash? Right.
So as soon as kind of YouTube took off, we looked at different ways we can monetize the branding that we have. And we noticed that people were looking to buy hats of DJ Raphi, and they wanted shirts, and they were looking for shoes. So eventually we started creating some merch and t-shirts and mugs and, bottles, and people started buying them, and we would attach them into the videos. So I would wear a shirt with the logo, and then I'd put a link. YouTube gives you the option where the actual merch comes up in the video, like a little square, and people click that. So we have today around 60,000 clicks on merch throughout our entire channel.
Wow.
Yeah, and people buy merch, and they take different stuff. So if we create a new video, the floor is lava, we will create a shirt that says the floor is lava with me kind of jumping around lava and all that, and people buy it. They watch the video. The kids are like, we want a shirt. And they go into the website and they just order a shirt. So that's a revenue stream that we have. Another, which is underrated as a YouTube content creator. Could you guess it?
What's that?
Streaming music, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff is really, really important and huge. Because we're creating music, we upload that onto Spotify, and apparently a lot of parents, they're at home or they're driving their car, and they don't want their kids to watch videos now, and they put on the song because the kids know the video already. They know the music. So they put on the song, and the kids are in the back doing freeze because they know all the stuff.
These are all the original DJ Raphi songs.
Yeah.
These are your own. Wow.
Yeah. So it happens to me at least once a day where I'm either at the gym or going to drop my kids at school or whatever it is, and someone stops me. They're like, hey, we love listening to your music yesterday. We were on Spotify just dancing. I'm like, on Spotify? That's interesting. He's like, yeah. And I loved it because I enjoyed the music and my kids were loving it. It wasn't annoying for me. I'm like, those are really important notes. So streaming is a very important revenue stream, especially if you start signing up on labels, which I cannot talk about now, but maybe in the future.
Okay. All right. We're going to have a part 2 with DJ Raphi very soon. We're going to hear more. There's also
cameos are underrated. So people book you to kind of like give it
right.
wishes. So I have that quite often.
Right.
And then when it comes to, sponsors or brand deals that want to come into your YouTube and you put their logo on the video, we do it in a very subtle way that you don't notice. I cannot mention the brands, but we have brands that sponsor
brand
videos.
Deals.
Yeah, brand deals.
Nice.
And then the last stream of revenue, which is a very important one, is shows. So when you bring your brand, your YouTube videos to the live stage, that is a very important source of income as well. So it's kind of divided between those stuff.
Okay. I've just did a quick glance at Spotify, guys. Over 70,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Apple Music shows that data or not really?
Yeah, I think we're reaching probably around more than 1 million streams a month.
Oh, wow. And is it similar to YouTube where you need the super high numbers to get a return, or is it the same?
Yeah. It's very similar to YouTube Kids.
Similar. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you mentioned the shows. Before we get to the tour, which I really want to talk about, how did the shows start happening? What are you doing with those? What's happening there?
So I would always, get booked to do like small shows for like 1,000 people, 2,000 people, just do some of my dances. It was always fun. Kids loved it. It was more like, we'll invite you to perform for our organization. The crowd is there. They're not going anywhere, and DJ Raphi is performing, and they'll come and watch you. But there's also other stuff going on. I wasn't like the main show. It happened occasionally, but wasn't like something that happened often enough. And then I had a management company that kind of managed me, get me brand deals, and they wanted to try get a tour on the road. We weren't sure if we were ready for a tour or not. We have like almost 1 billion views on the channel, and we still didn't have a sense if our brand could sell tickets. And I've had people in the past say to me, like, listen, you're not a ticket sales type of content creator. That's not what you do. You stay on YouTube. Stick with that. You're doing great. Don't try, change, diversify.
Like those parents in high school. Don't do breakdance.
And those type of people really pushed me. Thank you to all of you that are saying no, that you shouldn't do it. Because as soon as that happened, I'm like, the light bulb was like, bing, I'm totally doing shows. Thank you for saying that I cannot sell tickets. I'm going to sell thousands of tickets because of you. Thank you, person, whoever you are. These are like big people. These are people that worked for Netflix that I talk to them, I get advice from them. And some people they don't believe in what this DJ Raphi thing is all about. That's okay. And I think that's important to hear.
Yeah.
Different perspectives, and you take it to your own place. You can take what they say and let it bring you down, or you can take what they say, punch it in the face, and make it be your best gasoline and drive to create this dream you have.
Absolutely.
So I had a manager, and it didn't work out. There were amazing people and an amazing company. But I met another guy and from Australia. His name is Reese. And he was just so motivational. Like, he was motivating me. Like, listen, I believe in you. You can totally do a tour. We can make this happen. And I left my other management company, joined him, and we decided to book our first tour, and it's happening. We actually have 9 states. March 2026, we're doing our first DJ Raphi tour in the US. It's very exciting.
Yes.
I of course I believed it would happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I wanted it to happen. And Ilana was like, you have to do this. Like, I'm like, yeah, but like my voice, and I'm not like in top shape all the time. She's like, well, you'll work on it and you'll make it happen. And you have a great team around you. And you should do this. You should go. And she really pushed me. And she was involved in a lot of like the meetings around the tour and how to do it and which company is going to tour with us. Because we took like the top company to tour the DJ Raphi show. It's called the Hype Tour. And they booked it and we're so excited and it's happening. Yeah.
That's awesome. So it begs the question, you're crushing it on YouTube. You're crushing it, DJ Raphi, YouTube. Why the tour? Why do you need a tour? Why do you want a tour? What's really pushing you to do that?
So I think it's very important for any brand on social media to go and meet people face to face. You need to be out there. They need to see you. They need to feel you. They need to understand that the person that they saw online gives value face to face. This is the real deal. This is actually happening. It creates a bigger connection with the brand. It creates loyalty. It shows that you're willing to leave your house and your home and your kids and family to give them more value. It is the best thing any brand can do. People don't care about the brand. Someone smart told this to me. People don't care about the brand, they care about the person behind the brand. And when the person comes and shows itself and meets with people and does VIP and they take pictures and you get to interact with them, that is the biggest investment a brand can do for itself. And that's why we're doing the tour. Besides the fact that it's my dream to be on stage. We hope to fill arenas one day. And if once this was like, an idea that could never happen. Like, no way. Suddenly it's becoming a little bit of a reality because we have 11 shows booked and people buying tickets and people booking VIP meet and greets, which by the way are almost done. So, but it's really mind blowing for me and it's humbling because, and it's also kind of motivating me to work harder. But it's humbling because I really thought that this was a lost cause, not going to happen, and it is. So, I take it in a place where like. It's not making me feel amazing about myself or, oh, look, I'm doing this. It's more like, okay, my community is giving me back all the hard work I put in for 5 years, 6 years. And I will make sure to make this show the best show that their kids have ever seen.
And it's to debunk the theory that's going around that you're AI. Everyone thinks that you're not a real person.
Yeah, so people
you're a real
think
person.
A lot of
in 2026, people are like, I don't even know if this guy is real. Now they're going to see him in the flesh.
Yeah, a lot of kids think that I'm like some sort of robot or a machine, and when they see me for the first
after that
time,
the last song that came out, the robot dance.
Right, I wanted to show that is AI. I'm not. It's actually not AI. It's animated. It's actually animated. But the idea is that kids are really surprised when they see me for the first time. So this will be the first time that fans will meet, I guess, the guy on YouTube where, that reaction, that first reaction is going to be something I'm sure I'll remember the rest of my life.
All right, so Raphi, you mentioned about bullying and the challenges that you faced as a kid. There are a lot of children that are going to see this, or parents at least that will see this, that can, help their children with this advice. What would you tell a child watching this that might be struggling, that might be dealing with bullying today? And I'm sure also things change with social media, bullying, cyberbullying and all this other nonsense that unfortunately happens. What would you tell any kid watching today that is aspiring to be the next DJ Raphi?
So when I was a young kid, my mom heard that I was bullied. It was not even at school, it was in the neighborhood. And we were walking down the street and I saw this kid with a bunch of his friends. And this kid used to beat me up. And I go to my mom like, Mom, that's the kid. That is the kid that beat me up 2 days ago. And I kind of thought my mom would be like, what a bad kid. Let's turn around and go just somewhere else. That's what I wanted. I'm like, let's just get out of here. Like, Mom, we cannot pass this. She's like, that's the boy? Come, we're going. I'm like, where are we going? She's like, come. She grabs my hand and we walk towards this kid. And she literally went up to him in front of all his friends. And she's like, she's South African. So she goes, you listen to me. If you ever lay a finger on my child ever again, you will learn a valuable lesson. Do you understand? Never, touch my child. And this kid broke down crying. I'm like, Mom, I don't think that was okay. She's like, he has to learn. And we went back. I was embarrassed at first, and then I was so proud. And I felt so empowered and safe that my mom has my back. That kid never came up to me ever again. When he would see me, he would imitate my mom sometimes, like, but he never touched me. And I knew that if anything ever happened, my mom had my back. And I think I do that for my kids as well. That if anything goes on, they know that I will be there as their guard forever. And I think that it's also important to notice that when your kid is going through something hard, or if they have like some sort of a meltdown, there should be a reason why are they having that meltdown. Try to be there for them. Try to not to tell parents how to parent. But I just noticed that as a kid as myself, I would go through all these hardships because I was being bullied, because I was being named really bad names. And when I felt that my parents were there for me no matter what, that really, really changed my perception about myself and the values that I held and my safety. And I think that is something that we try to do with our empowerment, with our songs, with our creation and content. We have a song called Be You Be Awesome, because being yourself is enough. Who you are is what you need to be. And you should be proud of that. We have a song called Anti-Bully Dance, which is all about dealing with bullies. I'm probably the master in dealing with bullies because I deal with bullies even today, all the time, online. People that comment. If someone says to me, hey man, I didn't like your video. Your dancing sucks. I'm like, heart. They're
Wearing
like,
a
what?
stupid hat.
Yeah, like, heart. 2 hearts. They're like, what? 3 hearts. 4 hearts. They're like, heart. Ah, there you go. So, it's kind of like dealing love through hate, like dealing with hate through love.
Right.
And I think that if I had any goal in life with this whole branding thing and this whole, creating content for kids, is to really empower them and give them some self of belief in themselves. Again, I said this, dancing is embarrassing, but if you suddenly show a classroom of kids that are 10 years old, paka paka, where I dance like a chicken, and everyone's doing it. The teacher's doing it, and the boys and the girls, and the cool kids and the non-cool kids. That's it. Everyone's on the same level.
Wow.
And you want to give that sense to kids, especially kids with, disabilities that don't understand all the small nuances. And if you can give them that sense of, look, you can do what I'm doing. You're part of everyone. You're amazing. You're great.
Right.
That is something that kind of lets me sleep at night, that I know that I'm at least doing something good.
Amazing. I love that. All right, Raphi, this has been amazing. I have one last question before we wrap up here, and that is, what happens if tomorrow your entire YouTube channel is erased and everything you ever worked to build is gone like that? What do you do now?
So firstly, I still have my team. They're still around. Let's brainstorm. Let's figure out what is the next step. It's funny. On Instagram and TikTok, my following is not big. The reason is because we decided to focus all our energy on one platform. That was the only way to do it. If I also had to focus on building my Instagram account, building my TikTok account, that would be so hard and difficult to create all these different stuff. And people always say to me, like, why aren't you big on Instagram? Why aren't you big on TikTok? Why did you choose YouTube? Why did I choose YouTube? Name the biggest TikToker for me, Chai.
Biggest TikToker?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Name the biggest YouTuber.
Mr. Beast.
Okay, so YouTube has become a streaming platform that is competing with the biggest streaming platforms in the world, like Disney and Netflix. They're competing with them. You don't remember TikTok as much. You don't remember Instagram as much because it's more of like the place that you go to check what's going on in life. But it's not a career path where you become an Instagrammer. I'm a TikToker. Usually that's not what happens. It happens occasionally. I'm not saying it doesn't. But when you choose YouTube, that is how you kind of decide, okay, I'm going to create a brand and it is going to generate income and generate a continuity for the future. And I think that if that were to happen, where YouTube would shut down, I would choose one place where I would invest all of my attention and money into and go with that full force and not try to diversify and do a few things at the same time, which I've done in the past and it didn't work. I tried Amazon. I tried selling stuff online. I tried doing DJing on Zoom. I tried creating an app. I tried all these different stuff, and then YouTube was one of them. And I think if I would go back and just focus on YouTube at the start only, that'd probably be a better thing for me to do. I think that's what I would do today.
Fantastic. DJ Raphi, what a pleasure having you here.
Shy, the best.
Thank you so much for coming out. We love you. And good luck on the tour, guys. DJRaphi.com/tour for your tickets. Book those VIP, the VIP tickets, right? That's cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be worthwhile. We're really looking forward to having you. Maybe after the tour, we'll get like a recap of how that went and everything else that you got going on, because there's a lot of big things coming, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say it's a lot of big things coming.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much.
Thank you
it's
for being
amazing
here.
to see what you're doing. Keep it up.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for being here, and take it easy. Ciao.